Hello, hello. We'll just wait like a few more. You can hear me, right? How's the volume? We'll just wait like a few more minutes to let some other people pop in, and then I'll get into it. Nice, nice. All right, welcome everyone. Um, I kind of forgot what I said that I'd go over. Um, Let me look back at the post I made. Yeah, okay. So basically, this isn't going to be like, you know, an exact like lesson, like formal kind of tutorial on things. It's just kind of my process and my thought process behind like smooth animation because that's what people mostly ask me about. So to begin with, I'll just go over timing and spacing. These are the like I think they're the first principles. If you go online and look up 12 principles of animation, they are the 12 basic principles that the nine old men of Disney, aka like the nine like core animators that established the Disney style, they broke down animation into 12 basic principles. And the very first ones, okay, is squash and stretch, which we'll go over too. Anticipation, staging, blah blah blah, and basically arcs and timing and spacing is basically what I'm gonna go over. So timing is more so the literal like exposure, how long you hold each drawing. So if you're animating at 24 FPS, which you should be, can be, there's nothing wrong with like animating at different frames per second. It's just that 24 is the standard for animation. You can hold an animation for 4 frames or 3 or 2 or 1, and you call those animating on 4s, 3s, 2s, or 1s. 1s will get you the smoothest motion because you're drawing, one drawing every frame instead of like one drawing every 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 frames. And then spacing is the literal distance between an object, like between each drawing. So if I just play these back, I have these, let me make sure my timeline is visible actually. Let's see. Let me adjust it so you guys can see this. There we go. So if you look at my timeline, I kind of already, made a little thing with like one drawing exposed for 4, 3, 2, and on ones. And so we're just gonna play this real quick. It's gonna be really fast because yeah, we'll just let it go on loop. So this top one is literally just like even spacing but different timing. So like this circle, it goes pretty evenly across the line here. It goes from here to here to here to here to here. But they're exposed for different amounts of time. And this one, it's got timing and spacing where it goes from here to here to here and then it kind of like slows down here. So it's the same number of frames, the same drawings, but they're just spaced differently. And you get a vastly different reaction where this one kind of looks slower and this one kind of goes like it's zooming out of here. So that's like the basic theory behind it. So when it comes to getting smooth animation, I'll do another little thing here, right? This is where I kind of go into arcs as well. So let's say we have like a ball that goes on this path, right? Goes from here, 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 here. That's pretty even spacing. So let's see what happens when we see that. Goes from here. I'll put these on 4 so it's a little slower. Here, 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 and here. And I'll extend it, and then I'll stop it at, it says 28 frames. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty boring, right? But even if the path is boring, you can still kind of make this more convincing by spacing these things together, closer together. So instead, let's try, instead of here and here, let's try here and here. So it's still the same number of drawings, but I just moved these closer together. So let's see what happens. Instead, this is here, this is here, that's there, this is here, this is here, and that's there. Right? It's like a little more like a whoa kind of motion, like you're actually like going over a hill and then you're coming back down. You get, it's called a ease in and ease out, basically, where you ease into something and then you ease out of it, where you go fast to slow and then slow to fast. So that's why a lot of new animators, when they don't kind of pre-envision this pathway beforehand, so even if a path is like this, if you just space things right, it can still look natural. So let's get this guy here. I'm just gonna make totally new frames. So here, here. And then I'll stop it at right here. I'll slow it down a little. So you kind of feel this like whipping motion as it goes up and down, you know? It gets like slower when it goes down or when it's at the very bottom or very top, and it goes fast when it's in between because it's like going up and down and stuff. So if we try to put this realistically, apply this to, you know, what you guys are here for, like warrior stuff, map stuff, cat stuff, fur, feet. Let's say if we have, also, yeah, feel free to like write any questions. I'll try to like pay attention to the chat while I'm doing this. So basically, let's say we have a leg, right? So this is kind of the start of like the walk cycle thing as well. But let's say I'm just doing a very robot leg here, okay, with the shoulder here. Actually, I got wrong layer. Okay. And let's say it goes from here to all the way back here to here to here. This isn't accurate. I'm just like showing you guys like some basic mistakes that I find with newbies. All right, so let me slow this down, extend these so they play at a slower rate, so it's not like mew mew mew. It's not bad. Hold on, let me try it faster and we'll see it better. Hush, Diva. That's my dog. Hey, hey, it's just Dad. Calm down. Okay. Sorry about that. So it's pretty even. I made it pretty even just by habit, because like I already know how to do this, so my body automatically wants to make it like properly. But let's like slow it down. Let's slow it down some pieces. So let's say there's here and here, and let's say it goes from here to here, and then it zooms over here, and then it like extends slowly, and then it like comes forward this way. I'm not changing the timing here, right? All the frames are staying the same, but I just changed the spacing of the arm. So now it kind of feels a little more like faster almost, where it takes a little more time like bending up, and then it goes faster across, and then takes a little more time coming down. It's kind of like boing, 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 like that, as opposed to if I undo everything. I think this is pretty constant, where it's just like boing, 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 if you can like tell the difference. It's really hard with rougher drawings, which is another tip. Like when you animate or do roughs, you kind of want to be clean and as precise as possible, because when it comes to cleanup, if you directly follow really messy roughs, you'll get really messy animation. So you want your roughs to be as accurate as possible from the get-go. So let's try another example. I'll just do a ball. Okay, so we have a ball. It's gonna go from here to here. So we're gonna start here. I'll show you what an ease-in looks like. So we'll start here. It's gonna start really close, and then it's gonna speed up, and then it's gonna slow down. So you see that? It like starts slow, zooms across, and then it slows down at the end. And the thing with spacing as well, it's not just about how far or close together, like the literal words of how far and close. It's about how accurately you place something. So if I have a strand of hair or fur coming this way, and let's say I want it to end here, what do you think will happen? If I do an in-between, that's exactly like this, it'll be very boring. One in-between right here, and I'll make these on 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the timing. 3 drawings at 4 frames per second, or 4 frames each. Boom, boom, boom. It's very boring. It's very even, because it's evenly spaced. Boom, 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 boom. But what if I played with the timing and spacing, and I made one that's a little more here? So this is the same principle as the ball that I just drew, where I start the first few frames a little closer together, and then I'll make another drawing here. And then you can like whip across here, and then it'll end a little more like this. And 1 second. And I'll do an in-between right here. So now let's look at this timing. It's the same number of frames, 24 frames, but I added more drawings and I spaced them apart more appealingly. And look how much more natural that is. And like that's like a little tuft of hair or fur, but this can apply to tails, to ears, hair, hands. You know, the way a hand falls. When you just let a hand fall here. I'll draw a little hand. I'm gonna give it a little bit of drag. Drag is when you let some of the pieces kind of like stay back, like they're being dragged across, so they're a little slower to react. So I'm letting the fingers drag a bit. And then we'll have the hand here. And then we'll let the hand come forward and settle. And look at the hand. Look how like floppy that is. Yep, that's called ease in and ease out. The way you remember ease in and ease out, I kind of get confused too. I'm actually kind of doubting myself right now as I answer this. But ease in is when you like slow down to a stop. So ease in is when you go from fast and apart to slowing down and getting closer together. And then easing out is when you start slow and then you ease out. You like ease yourself to a faster pace, further and further, faster apart. So that's ease in, and this is ease out. You go from here to here, 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 and here to here, 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 here. So I'll just erase all that and I'll replay the hand and hair thing. Let me know if you guys have any questions so far or want like another example. And so for smooth animation, right? Because even now, if you look at my hand, it's kind of like the fingers start off a lot thicker than they end up. They end up a little thinner here, right? So that's when you want to really flip back and forth. Practice flipping back and forth and realize like, hey, if these fingers are this long at this frame, why are they only this long here? That's a lot shorter than this. So then I would fix this drawing so that it's like, you know, the proper length that it was at. And then you'll get an even smoother animation. See, like even now, the fingers are a lot shorter here than they are here. So then I'm gonna just adjust these fingers real quick. Same with these, and then ultimately same with these. And wow, even the hand now looks even smoother. So that's my whole process behind everything. So basically, so Vapor asks, basically the first few and last few frames need to be duplicated a lot more than the middle ones. Basically, yeah. If this is the kind of speed that you're going for. Typically, most animation that you do, whether it's like someone walking and then they come to a stop. They come to a stop. So like, yeah, at the very end, you're going to have a lot more frames here. Or if you don't want to draw more drawings, right? You can just draw less and hold them longer. So let me see if I can show this as an example. So we have a ball going from here. Let me make sure I just have a straight path here. From here to here, and here to here. So this is where timing and spacing work together. So let's say we have a ball that, so I'm drawing at, what's it called? Like 1 frame or 2, I'll put these on 2s. 2 frames per second, right? So there, and then there, and there, there, there. Until it just comes to a stop. I'll just let it do that, right? So I drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 circles to do this. So you can either do that, or you can draw this, and then this one. So now this is on 4s. And then I'll just draw this one here, and this one, and then this one. So this is less drawings, but it's going at the same speed, basically. But it's a little more jerky. So that's why you want to in between, and that's kind of why you want to in between and draw more frames to get more of that smooth motion. And again, in betweening this one, I could in between exactly in the middle here, or I could in between closer to the beginning here, so that it feels even more like it's like new, like that. So it kind of feels like it's like zooming out already from the get-go. Or I can move this over here and it'll feel a little more like calm, more even, less of a noom out and just like a, yeah, I'm coming down. So let's see. Flustered Bush Studios asks, how would you go about something like a head shake? That's just an example, but it's more of a fast animation with minimal in-betweens, so it's difficult to get right. I think that's also where spacing comes into play a lot. Yeah, you'd be right. So that's where we can go into something called smears, which is really fun. So a head shake, right? A head shake, I kind of envision it as like, so when I like first started animating, they made us do this exercise called the pendulum. And I'll show you what that is. The pendulum, if you guys really want to like do a very basic exercise and kind of play with timing and spacing, the pendulum, it's like the thing in a clock where you start from here, here, and it really teaches you like several things at once. Like one, it teaches you arcs, right? An arc, it means a curve path. So it teaches you how to follow an arc correctly. And then it teaches you timing and spacing to show an ease in and an ease out. So it's easing out, right? Where the frames start closer together and then get further apart. And then you ease in to the end where it stops. I'm just going to draw one more frame. Right here. Right? So that's like the pendulum. And then you just, draw the frames backwards so that it like, or actually I could do that here, where I just do this. Ha ha ha, paste reverse. Boom, boom. So that's the pendulum exercise, right? You can really see the timing and spacing here. It's all on ones, but they're all spaced differently. So you feel like a sense of speed, even though they're all like the same exposure, timing-wise. The spacing is what changes that feeling of speed. So when it comes to a head shake, I kind of just envision it like that. I kind of just see it as a face going from here to here. So the face goes from here to here, to here. And actually you would like close your eyes when you turn your head. Oh, that's like an important little character acting thing if you guys want to make a little note of that. Anytime you make a big movement, like you turn your head to look at something, or you look up, or you are about to say a word, you always blink right before you do it. So when you turn your head, you actually blink. So then anyway, continuing like a pendulum, then it would go from here to here, to here, to here. And like this is very spaced apart. I know this is more like the dude's like going from side to side rather than shaking their head, but like just to kind of show you the slow-mo easy version of it. That's like basically what you're doing. So then to exaggerate that, that's when I would go, oops, come on, here we go. Then like if we have a body here, these are the shoulders, and we're just doing the head here. I would go first an arc, right? You look kind of slightly down, not just straight across. You kind of curve your head down, and then you swing your head this way, and then you swing it back that way. That's kind of the overall motion I'm going to go for. So I'm going to go like this, and back here, and over here, and slow it down, and let it come back this way. And we'll just stop right here. I'll just get rid of this first frame, honestly. Is that more of like the head shake that you're looking for? And then if you want to go faster, right, that's when I would put these on ones then, or like leave these outside ones on twos and then make the middle ones where he's like changing directions faster. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or you could do like from here and do a smear and go like that. I'm going to scooch these over. And then back this way. And you can do that as well, like a little smear. And that's only with like 4 drawings that's just looping over and over. Mm-hmm. Let's see. J Row. Okay, first I'll answer Vapor. Could you upload this stream as a video so that I can come back? Yeah. All of my streams, after a couple days, I unlist them. But if you go to my channel and look up my streams playlist, all of my past streams are there for you to look back on and like play back through. And I think I turned on the setting for this stream so all the chat and everyone's questions also replay. So you can read the chat as well. So J Rose asks, is there any tips for rotoscoping? So rotoscoping, If y'all don't know, rotoscoping basically means to trace. It's a legitimate form of animation, and like there was this old Lord of the Rings animated movie, I think from the 80s. I think from the 80s, 70s or 80s, and it was like 70% rotoscoped, which means they filmed with real people and then they just drew over it for animation. So when you rotoscope, you kind of want to keep the same basics in mind. Where if you're gonna trace a hand, let me see if I have any videos that I can bring in. I may have some from when I worked on animation for my TEF senior film. That's not it. Okay, so here. This is like a reference video. It's importing right now. Of a dude like gripping these spatulas for cooking. It's gonna load for a sec. I'm also gonna try and like edit this back so I can like set chapters for you guys. I'll try. I might get lazy, so you might just need to scrub through, but I'll try. But yeah, I'll just, while this imports, I'll just kind of explain. Even with rotoscoping, you want to keep the principles in mind where you don't want to just trace over each and every single frame. You want to pick and choose which frames you rotoscope so that when you play it back, it still has this believability of movement and weight where it doesn't look like fake real. Like it obviously it's real because you traced over real footage, but it looks like uncanny valley because it's something's just not right about it. Something's not like animation about it. Almost done. Come on, you can do it, Timbo. Any other questions while we wait? And then after this, I'll do a quick little walk and run cycle demo and like the basics for that as well. Oh, also, I guess I could just like pull up some of my old animations. I'll show you guys how I like in between some of my old art. Um, so I'll pull out the Naruto Avatar one. That one was really fun. Let's see. Is this the right one? Where is it? Should be this one. I think it's this. And then I'll open up, there's this dialogue one. That's my favorite. Okay, Harmony's having a pretty hard time importing this video, so we're just going to move on to something else. Okay, so this is the Naruto one that I was working on. So here's like, look at this guy's arms. Watch how he swings. This is like exactly the pendulum exercise that I just showed you guys, where he swings his arms and the like when he starts swinging it, it's closer together, but when he goes through the middle, it's pretty fast. And then he slows down and then he brings his fingers together really fast. See, there's like that big jump here. but then these are very much closer together. So you'll see I'll play it through. And same with her, right? So when she's first pulling her fist back, it's very slow. And then she like quickly jerks it back. And then it's slow again because she's about to go forward and punch. And look where I used the smear right here. And then boom. And then camera shake. And same with this guy. He goes from left to right, blowing the fire out. So he goes like whoosh. And like it goes really fast here. And then slows down. I have like multiple of like very similar drawings right here to slow him down at the end. This is my dialogue, one of my favorites with my villain from my senior film.
All right, who did this? I'm not mad. I just want to know who did it so I can punish them.
So I had the arms, like watch this arm, right? It starts slow, and then he swings it back, and then it's slow again right here, very close together, and then it swings forward really fast here. It just whoosh comes forward. And then it slows down again right here because he stops moving that arm. And same with this arm right here, his right arm on our left, right? When he swings his arm forward, it's very fast. Boom, boom. 2 drawings right here. But when he's at the top, look how close together these fingers are. And then when he whips his arms up, right? Big distance right here, covering a lot of distance here. But then when he's like at the top, he slows down. And again, I could have drawn more drawings right here, but instead I just decided to hold that frame longer. Hey, EINSOID. My co-director. Partner in crime.
All right, who did this? I'm not mad. I just want to know who did it so I can punish them.
It's the same thing here, where when he like whips his hand up, it's very fast when he brings it up, but then when it's at the top, it's very close together to slow it down. So obviously this video did not import correctly, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. And then I'll just go through a quick little like walk run demo for you guys. This is also, it's in the Animator's Survival Kit. It's a book, but there's like tons of scans, like free scans from the book online, so just look it up, the Animator's Survival Kit. This man, I forgot his name right now. Anyway, the author, he goes into the basics of a walk cycle, where it's contact, which I'll explain in a sec, down, passing, up. So this is for each foot, each side. Real quick, Flustered Brush Studios asks, I'm thinking about getting Toon Boom. Right now I'm using Adobe Animate, and while it's great, the brushes are very limited, and also tweening is limited. Would you recommend it? Yes. Toon Boom is, I mean, Adobe Animate's really powerful too. You can tween really well in it. It's just a little more complicated in my opinion, personally. But Toon Boom, while also complicated, is very powerful, and it's the industry standard. Like Archer uses it. If you know the TV show, the cartoon Archer. Bob's Burgers is made in Toon Boom. I think Family Guy is in TV Paint, but you can do it in Toon Boom too. And like tweening is technically called rig animation, where I can also pull up another like rig that I've made. Um, I'll let that load real quick. But yeah, anyway, with the walk cycle, basically, it's gonna be the body. So this is your contact pose. Contact means the front foot forward, right? Right. When you're in a walking position, by the time this foot is forward, this leg is going to be like slightly bent here. That's just how it is, you know. And then the down, also pay attention to the height of like the head as well. So contact, down, is when you bend your leg to bring it down under you. And then this leg kind of comes up now. Passing is when you kind of come back up and your back leg passes your front leg because it's about to come forward now. And then up is when you're at your highest peak because the other leg now is going up because it's about to step forward. And then you're back to your contact. And this foot is bent. So I'm going to extend this and put these on 3s to slow it down a bit. So these are just basically 1, 2, 3, 4. And then like I just started the next one. But like if you loop it, there you go. There's your walk. Hey, Patch, no problem. Yeah. It's gonna be in my streams playlist on my channel, and I'll leave it public for now. I won't list it for a while, so you can always play it back. So boom, there's like a very convincing walk right there, and it's only a stick man. And at that point, to make it smoother, you just in between it. And you can go about halfway. So like here, here, here. And then what was I gonna do? Basically gotta do this. So now I'm in betweening it. Where this leg is here, this leg is there. See, so back is now coming forward. And then that leg is coming up now. And then it comes down. It's just about to touch. And then now we can see how smooth this is. A much smoother walk cycle. A little slower because I extended it and put it on 2s, right? But if I put it on 1s, it'll be a lot faster. And like this head bobbing up and down is what really sells a walk cycle. When people just move the legs, but they keep the body and the head still, it's just kind of weird because realistically, the legs end up shortening to make up for that. You move the head and body up and down so that the legs don't have to shrink. So J Rose asks, I see some people in betweening when they are doing line art. Is it harder? It depends. I'm guilty of doing that myself. Sometimes it just saves time, personally. You can just go ahead and in between during your rough animation stage, but if you already know like how it's gonna go, and instead of like trying to sort between these rough lines, like, okay, here's this hair, and here's this hair, and I'll in between this hair, and it's all messy. Instead, if you just know that you have like this hair and this hair and it's clean, with these clean lines already, you can just be like, yeah, it's right there. So it's personal taste, really. It's not, I wouldn't say it's any easier or harder than doing it during a rough animation stage. It's just kind of personal preference and like time saving, more or less. So that's a walk cycle. And with the run cycle, it's a little trickier because you have a stage where, like a walk cycle, before I delete this, if you scrub through, one foot is always touching the ground, and then at some point you have both feet touching the ground, right? With the walk cycle. But with the run, there's actually a point where neither of your feet touch the ground, and only one really stays on the ground. Oh, it's okay. If you guys have to leave, that's totally fine. You can always replay the stream back. I don't mind. So basically, first off with the run is posture. You lean forward a lot more when you're running. Oh, no problem, Puffing Cat. Puffing Cat says thank you for doing this kind of tutorial. Yeah, no problem. I can do a cat run cycle in a sec. Yeah. So with the human run cycle though, because that's like the basic, because four-legged animals are basically two human run cycles or walk cycles going at slightly different paces, which I'll explain in a sec. So with the run, we start with the contact, right? Contact, down, passing, up. And then with the run, you have like an up extended. So you first have the contact. We'll do this like anime, I'm running late, here's toast in my mouth. Right? And then you go down because you gotta bend your leg to get it under you. And then you have the passing. I don't know what that error message was about. You have the passing, where now this leg is under, and then this leg is coming forward. And these passing poses are a lot more drastic. They're a lot more exaggerated. And then when you're running, you're up. You have that pose. And then you have the like up extended, where you come slightly down. So your up is always your highest point. This is where you're going to be the tallest. And then this is when, like right before your foot hits the ground, both your legs are off the floor. And then you're back to here. So let's just play this through. So that's 5 basic drawings to work with. And some people simplify it to like 6 or 4. It depends. Boom. Here we go. We have a run. And I'll put it on ones to make it faster. Or I can even like, let's say extend these, but then these are faster. Actually, this one should probably be faster, slower. So all of these, again, the timing and spacing comes back into play where I'm not changing the drawings, but I'm changing the timing of it, and it gives the run such a different feel each time. Like this is 2 1 2 1 2. This is if they were all on twos. Much slower. This is if the ending two were on ones, but the middle two were longer, so it might feel more like a skip, I'm gonna guess. Bum, 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 bum. You know? So it depends. Oh yeah, I can do the Naruto run. Here. So, come on. Let's delete some frames here. I actually did a Naruto run once. So the Naruto run is like this. It's like not as realistic, but yeah. It goes from like here to here. And again, like there's no perfect position for these things. You just kind of do it. Like for each character, depending on their personality and like their stature and stuff, the way they run will change too. I actually forgot how to do the Naruto run. Hold on. I think this is it. It's shorter here. This actually isn't that deep. But yeah. But yeah. So when it comes to cats or animals run cycle, right? Animals also, each animal has a different mechanic with their run cycle. So cats specifically, this is when I bring up reference. Look up other animators. How did they animate cats running? How did they animate wolves running? Look up actual videos of cats and dogs running and like watch how their legs go. So for like a cat, I'm just gonna do like circle heads again this whole time because it's faster and like for the sake of the stream. So I'm gonna start, cause I just know already that cats do this with their bodies. So like here's the contact, right? And one leg always kind of lags behind the other. And then these are extended out. So that's the contact, right? Let's not forget. Contact, down, passing, up. So contact, down. And I'm looking at these front legs. The back legs kind of go through their own cycle as well, which you'll see in a second. So down. So technically, like this is still in its up position while this is in its contact. So then this is in its down position and this is in its contact like pose. So it's very interesting. It's very confusing. I love and hate it. And then I just know that this is when they start bringing their hind legs forward. And then passing, right? Passing is like the head is on the way back up, which basically means like this paw is about ready to get off the ground. And these legs are also about here. So like if this makes sense, basically with forelegs, the front right, we'll say, or front back, well, no, I'll say front right is one step behind the front left. Which means if, right, if this paw is in contact, which, so if we did a pattern, contact passing down, up, contact passing down, up, or contact down passing up, right? So while one foot is in contact, the other foot is one step behind on the up. So by the time this is in its down position, this is now contacting. So then when this is passing, now this paw is in the down position. And then, so you have this behind that, but then you have these behind these, where the back right and the back left are also like slightly behind each other, but then these themselves are behind these guys, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain with words, but right, you see, like this is like in its up position and now it's in the contact. And then, so now the head is coming back up. So again, I can't really say more about like a run cycle besides like reference, truly. You just need to watch and memorize and study how animals move when they run or walk or do anything. And then the up extended, where they go like, I'm flying, I'm extending, I'm reaching out now. And these legs are really about to push off. Or they already have pushed off. And then let's play this. It's not super centered, but let's just see how this goes. Boom. This first pose might be a little bit exaggerated, so I'm going to bring it down just a bit. There we go. So if you just pay attention to the front paws, they're doing their own thing. And then if you just pay attention to the back paws, they're doing the same thing, but just like a second behind, right? So it's contacting, down, passing, up, extended. But then when we started, these were already in the like up, extended. Now they're contacting. Now they're passing. And then we're back up. So. And if I really want to polish this, I would actually exaggerate this lag a bit more. So I'll do this. And then I'd let this paw go here. Yeah. Yeah. And then same with this, I'd actually let this leg kind of still be behind here. and still be coming up. And then when this leg is over here, now this guy is touching. And then this guy can be off the ground by the time this guy is pushing off. So, boom. That's like a lot more exaggerated and smoother and more realistic, right? All right, I'm gonna check the chat. I haven't checked in a sec. I was doing this. So it's like each set of legs is a few frames off from the other, and each set, both legs are, yep, yeah, basically. Basically, yeah. It's like hard to say it properly in words, but I think you guys get it. All right, so this leg, yeah. So this leg is here while that leg's lagging behind. So by the time, right? So like if I just block this off, let's just block it off. Come on. Boom. Block it off better. Right? So this guy's doing its own thing here. And then he's also doing his own thing here. They're doing the same cycle, but they're just offset from each other. And notice, watch, how the head I drew, I make sure the head goes up and down too with each movement. And it comes back. Same with the butt. It goes in the air and then it comes forward and down. Kind of basically like if I were to draw a circle, like they would go in this kind of path right here. Basically. These circles were kind of off, but like, y'all know what I mean. I guess this is like more of the path. So I actually gotta fix this part a bit. Boom. Where this actually has to come forward. The head comes forward. And now come down. Let's see. Jump. And forward and down and back. Up and down, back. There we go. There we go. Now it's going more in like a circular motion like I wanted. So rather than circle, they're really going like this. Oh, I'm glad. So Flustered Bush Studio. Sorry, I keep saying fluttered. Quad one cycles always confuse me, but going over and seeing someone draw all the positions in order really helps. Yeah, for sure. That's why, like, reference, always. Do not be afraid to look at someone else's and don't copy, don't trace, but reference them. Understand why they do it that way, and then implement it in your own work. That's how we learn. That's how we get better. And honestly, even these drawings right now, they aren't super perfect. Ooh. I don't know why it's rendering. It shouldn't do that. Because honestly, like, I could do that. Where it's more like this. So, boom. And this actually comes forward a little more. This is back. This can be up a bit more. There we go. That's a little more accurate. So even I am always learning and adjusting, and I'm just kind of testing myself to see, like, does this look right? Does this feel right? do not be afraid to look over things over and over and over again, because you will be able to find the mistake. Because if you don't look at it, you won't know. You have to look at it to know. So yeah, unless anyone has any other questions, that's basically it for this quick little demo. If you guys want like another example of something, I can do my best to try. Could you also use squash and stretch for run cycles? Yeah, of course. Of course. So let's see. I'm gonna do a cute little funny guy. Cuphead, rubber hose style, right? Um, with where like the limbs and the hands are like gloves. That's called rubber hose style. It was established by Fleischer Studios, right? This kind of stuff. Yes, definitely. So, let's say I'll just get this guy here. I'll make him I'll do like a little SpongeBob kind of thing, okay? So here's SpongeBob. SpongeBob running. So here's SpongeBob running. Hush, Rigby. I'm trying to teach a class. And then here's where he comes down. Sorry, she's a little annoying. And let's say he's like still squishing from the gravity during the pass. And then he like comes up. And then he's like back to normal. So let's see how this looks. I'm like kind of just guessing right here, but yeah, basically. Let's see, his body should actually come down a little more. There we go. Yeah, no, squash and stretch is like the very first principle of like the 12 basic principles. Do it. It's good. It's proper. Hello, Sage Sleeves. The smears. So like if he came from here to here, you'd go like yeah. So basically, that's it. So yeah, that's it for the learning part of the stream. So I guess I will end it here, and I'm gonna start a new stream just so I don't like make this one super long, and I'm gonna try and work on some personal stuff. So thanks for coming, everyone. I hope you learned something. I hope I was able to help. If you have any more questions, always shut up, Rigby. Always feel free to ask during the chat, during my streams. I'm happy to answer and explain as much as I can. So I'm gonna close this now while my bird continues to tweet. So I will be streaming back again in like 2 seconds, but just ending this so I can make it like a separate video. All right, thank you guys.